This is a KGW News Special Edition.
Portland's Oak Park is back open Saturday, save for one ride. Thanks for joining us for this special edition newscast. I'm John Adams. The ride named Atmosphere is closed until further notice. It's after a terrifying incident happened Friday afternoon when the ride malfunctioned, leaving 28 people trapped upside down for close to 30 minutes, 100 feet in the air. One person was taken to the hospital after they were rescued.
I couldn't, my mind was so out of it. I felt like I had myself lost. I don't even feel like myself. I definitely feel like a different person actually now because I feel thankful.
I definitely have a different outlook on life now. Upside down, hundreds of feet in the air, the only thing I could think is I'm never gonna hug my dad and my brother again.
Oaks Park says the Atmosphere has been in operation since 2021 and until now without incident. It's closed indefinitely as the manufacturer and inspectors try to figure out what went wrong. On Friday, a former ICU nurse pled not guilty to 44 counts of second-degree assault. Danny Marie Schofield, who worked at the Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center, is accused of switching out patients prescribed fentanyl for tap water. Investigators say this was over a span of more than a year and led to some patients developing infections. The judge set her bail at $4 million. She was also denied a court-appointed attorney. If she posts bail, she will go on pretrial probation.
No contact with any surviving victim or alleged victim, no intoxicants testing upon request, and no contact with Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center or any property unless for emergency services.
Schofield's next court date is June 24th. Police arrested 9 men on Tuesday following an anti-human trafficking mission in southeast Portland. It happened along Southeast 82nd Avenue. Officers also seized this stolen handgun and rescued a woman identified as missing from California. PPB's Victim Services Unit arranged transportation to reunite her with her family. Back in Portland, Portland police identified the Gresham woman killed in a February crash. Police say 75-year-old Bonnie Hine died after her vehicle was hit from behind. Officers arrived to find her dead at the scene. PPB arrested the other driver, 22-year-old Maria Mancada. They claim she was impaired in speeding when she collided with Haynes' car. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says a 17-year-old girl remains in the hospital with serious injuries following a crash earlier this week along the gorge. It happened on Highway 30 Wednesday night around 10:30 near Shepherd's Dell. Deputies arrived to find the vehicle 150 feet down a ravine. The teen was life-flighted to an area hospital. Two others in the car, an 18-year-old and another 17-year-old, were okay. Investigators believe speed was a factor because the crash happened near a curve in the road. Well, turning now to weather, here's a live look outside this evening. And for mid-June, where we really got every kind of spring weather you could think of today. Showers, sunshine, thunderstorms, and even some snow in the Cascades. Here's meteorologist Joe Ranieri with a look at our Father's Day forecast. Hey, Joe.
Hey, good evening to you, John. Yeah, it's not uncommon to see some of these cold fronts drop down the snow levels down about 4,000 feet. That's what we saw earlier today. And up at Timberline Lodge, you've seen over 5 inches of snow in the last 24 hours. So as we look at the radar tonight, we are going to continue to see some spotty showers, but some of you might not see anything. You might be dry as a bone, and you're probably wondering, wait, there was thunderstorms and hail earlier today? There were some heavy showers in a few locations and some hail in a few spots as well. Those yellows and some oranges moving in along the foothills of the mountains, those are those heavier cells that could be producing some thunderstorms this evening. And take a look at Timberline Lodge and Mount Hood Meadows. You've been seeing a good amount of snow showers, and here's evidence of that tonight with a temperature of 31 degrees. The snow level will be remaining right around 4,500 feet, and there's no watches and warnings because of the snow, but there is a freeze warning throughout parts of southern Oregon near Klamath Falls and Paisley and over in Lakeview. You'll be seeing pretty cold temperatures for this time of year. One place that won't be cold will be along the Oregon coast. Here's a live look now over in Lincoln City from our Chinook Winds beach camera. Temperature of 60 degrees. Expect to see a little bit more of the same heading into tomorrow, but I am tracking a warm up heading into the later part of next week. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, we'll see you in a few minutes later in the show. Ahead of a 3-day nurses strike at 6 Providence hospitals next week, it appears the tensions couldn't be higher. Providence has accused the union, the Oregon Nurses Association, of interfering with patient care by calling on other nurses not to accept contracts at the 6 hospitals, while the union is accusing Providence of violating Oregon's nurse-safe staffing law. Our Alma McCarty looks into the issue further.
Last week, the Oregon Nurses Association delivered its 10-day notice, alerting Providence that 3,000 members working at 6 hospitals would strike for 3 days, starting this Tuesday at 6 a.m.
A strike is a very, very, very serious action.
This comes after 6 months of bargaining. Nurses asking for better pay, a better nurse-to-patient ratio, and better health benefits. The locations impacted: Providence, St. Vincent, Newburgh, Willamette Falls, Medford, Hood River, and Milwaukee.
Be respecting their right to do that as we continue to provide care for our patients.
But now, just days out, Providence claims union tactics could be hindering their ability to continue providing patient care during the strike. Here's Jennifer Gentry, the Central Division Chief Nursing Officer with Providence.
This isn't a shop floor. This is a hospital. And we have patient lives in our hands. And so our words really matter, and we're asking for respect for that.
Providence is addressing an ONA letter which calls on all nurses to stand in solidarity and to not accept travel nurse contracts scheduled to start in June or July. Providence announced last week that their facilities would remain open during the strike and that they'd fill those gaps with replacement workers.
The world of replacement nurses, if they feel intimidated or if they're feeling like this isn't a place that they're welcome to come or they are safe to come, then it's possible they wouldn't choose to accept those contracts, and that could negatively impact patient care.
The union pushing back in a statement, writing that if Providence were truly concerned about recklessness and patient safety, they would not have cut off negotiations early and would be at the bargaining table right now. And ONA says a call to not cross the picket line is standard practice for all unions engaged in strike action. Providence doesn't have final numbers on replacement nurses, but says come Tuesday, patients should still expect the same level of care.
We want our patients to know that they shouldn't hesitate to come to us if they have a need. We'll be here for them, and our doors will be open.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. The union Friday sent a cease and desist letter to Providence saying it was violating the safe staffing law. ONA says Providence is adopting staffing plans without consulting other nurses. Providence told us late Friday that they intend to follow the law as written. Some shellfish harvesting is back open on the coast. The Oregon Department of Agriculture announced razor clams can once again be commercially harvested, but bay clams and mussels still aren't considered safe. 3 weeks ago, high levels of biotoxin in shellfish started making people sick. That halted recreational and commercial harvesting and had restaurants throwing out shellfish from certain areas.
I think the most difficult part for us has been like that public facing piece and explaining to people why we don't have oysters.
The lifting of the oyster harvesting ban came just a day before Oyster Fest in Tillamook. A traffic alert for the Interstate Bridge. All northbound lanes will close tonight starting at 11. It's so crews can perform sign maintenance. During that time, Washington-bound drivers should take I-84 east to I-205 north across the Glenn Jackson Bridge. The span is scheduled to reopen by 7 Sunday morning. Celebrations underway in Portland ahead of Juneteenth. While it was recognized as a federal holiday only 3 years ago, a woman named Clara Peoples brought the celebration to the Rose City 52 years ago. Juneteenth celebrates the day African slaves in Galveston, Texas found out they were emancipated. Today, our Sydney Dorner got to see how the parade people started is still going strong.
This Saturday, 1,500 people marched along MLK Drive in honor of Juneteenth. The people I spoke to say their mission is clear, celebrating the freedom of emancipated slaves, but also celebrating Black leaders here in Portland. Energy was high this year at the 52nd annual Clara Peoples Freedom Trail Parade, also known as Juneteenth, Oregon. The celebration started right near the Martin Luther King School in Northeast Portland and ended at Lillis Albina Park. The event isn't just a celebration, but also a mentorship program and pageant for young women 6 to 19. Miss Juneteenth 2023 and 2024, Princess Fletcher, says the Black community should be uplifted more than just 1 month a year.
We have like February, and that's not really enough, and there's Juneteenth where we celebrate like our freedom and how beautiful and bright our culture is. And I feel like that just brings so much beauty to the community, especially here in Portland, where it's so diverse.
This diversity didn't come easy. Organizer for the parade, Heather Coleman Cox, says Oregon once had exclusionary laws that prohibited Black people from moving into the state. She says celebrations like this show how far we've come.
Those laws stayed on the books until 1926, so it's very important in this state to show unity, to show that the Black citizens are welcome.
Between the live bands, cheerleaders, and even clowns, you could just feel how much fun people were having. Nikki Brown Clown spends her time pouring into the Black youth here in Portland as a literacy advocate and entertainer. She says this is one of her favorite days of the year.
It feels phenomenal. It's like a homecoming for us, and it just feels great to be completely celebrated and embraced.
Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
An extra special graduation in Corvallis. Oregon State University says a record number of students graduated today at more than 7,600. NFL running back and former Beaver Steven Jackson gave today's commencement address. Congratulations to all of those grads.